Loving God, gracious Father, I pray that the words of my mouth and the meditation of all of our hearts will be now and always acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. In today's gospel reading, we see how God in Jesus can change a life, any life. We come face to face with the Almighty, all-powerful God that we serve. We hear for ourselves how we can deal with even the demons of this world. Here we find Jesus not in Jewish territory, but in Gentile country, the country of the Gerasenes. Luke, the beloved physician, gives us a detailed description of the condition of a man who avoids human habitation in favor of living in a cemetery. He refuses to wear clothes. He exhibits extraordinary strength and frightens the people to such an extent that they put him under guard. He is bound with chains and shackles, just like we sang about. And in today's world, we would probably refer to someone like him as a psycho. Jesus takes the initiative to put the man to rights. If the man has experienced an invasion by the spirit of evil, with the coming of Christ, he experienced the invasion of the Spirit of God. Jesus recognizes that the power which drives the man to do as he does is the power of evil, not the power of good, and he moves to change this situation. The coming of Christ is totally opposed to the kingdom of evil. It puts the kingdom of evil into the chaos which it causes in others. And out of the chaos of the demonic's life, Jesus brings order and peace. Creation is a continuing work to bring order out of chaos, to bring pattern out of legion. The man is no longer a bored battlefield for the power of evil. He is in possession of himself again. Jesus restores his power of self-possession. The man who was formerly possessed by evil is given assurance by Jesus that he has been reclaimed by him, that he can now share in this new kind of righteousness. The demonic is said to have been found now clothed and is in his right mind. Clothed indeed, clothed with the cloak of Christ's righteousness. And in his right mind, having the faith that evil cannot win the day over his being. He is found sitting at the feet of Jesus. Gone is the fear of being in the presence of the divine. The heart that was once possessed and stricken with fear and torment. The seized heart that was once locked, unwilling and unable to let others in. The heart that was once hostile to God and others has been completely changed. The man is now under the healing sign of the presence of Christ on the cross. Luke tells us that the evil spirits which possess the man enter a herd of swine which rushes over the cliff to be drowned in the lake below. Everyone present is given a clear indication of Jesus' power to banish evil. Some of the people have a problem with the incident, thinking that Jesus' action was wasteful. They feel that the swine have a right to pasture peacefully. In the meantime, they had banished a human being to the borders of human contempt, overlooking his right to live peacefully. Jesus dismisses the swine dramatically and focuses attention on the man. The man is the one who is in need of nurture of care, and of protection. And he is the one who was denied that by everyone around him. Denied that except by Jesus. It is little wonder that the community asked Jesus to depart from their midst. Jesus' healing powers exposed their own powerlessness. His power has made them afraid. They do not share the outright hostility of Jesus' opponents, but they do fear the power which Jesus shows. On the other hand, the cured man begs to keep the company of others, keep the company of Jesus. He wants to stay near Jesus, to be around Jesus. But Jesus tells him to stay in his own community and to witness to the wonderful work of God. Clearly, Jesus' work is the work of God. The healed man follows the commands of Jesus. He went away, proclaiming throughout the city what Jesus had done for him. Again, Jesus makes the outsider the man with the most important word in the community. The man who was an outcast now carries the most precious word that the community will ever hear. Whether he was received in his own community or not, we do not know. Scripture doesn't tell us. But we do not know whether he had better reception in his community than Jesus had in his. Perhaps the people that he went out to witness to used a similar argument against the new prophet as they did against Jesus. They were probably looking at him and saying, "Well, we know this man well. Isn't he the madman who used to hang out in the cemetery among the graves?" You see, just like the people in today's gospel, we sometimes remember the people the way they were before they had an encounter with Christ. We forget to see them. We fail to see them as a new creature in Christ Jesus once their burden has been taken away. Jesus gave this man his life back, and he does the same for you and I. Jesus freed him from the power of evil and used him to spread the good news of the gospel. That's exactly what Jesus does. But oftentimes, we are reluctant to spread the good news of the gospel. Even though you and I, just like this man, have been given new life in Christ. That's why we're here this morning. We have been given the gift of salvation through Christ dying on the cross. We may not be demon-possessed like the man in today's gospel, but every single day that you and I live, and I'm sure you would all agree with me, every day that we live, we too are faced with the power of evil. I'm sure people say to you, like they say to me, "Why do we hear about such and such? Why do we hear about this on the news and that on the news? What's the world coming to? What's happening to people?" Well, we must never forget that there are two powers at work in the world. The power of evil is very much. We heard this morning that the devil is lurking in the gospel that Harvey shared with us. The devil is lurking, seeking to devour whom he will. And we must never forget that. We, all of us, struggle against the desires of the flesh. We too are often bound by the sin that enters our lives. We are often shackled by the heavy burden of guilt and shame. But once the hand of Jesus touches us, amen, like the demonic, we are no longer the same. And I asked the trio this morning if we could sing that before this gospel reading. Once the hand of Jesus touches us, we are no longer the same. We are free. Free. God's grace is sufficient in meeting our every need. And we, like the man in today's gospel, we are asked to go out and to proclaim how much God has done for us.